Buim b'shaim b'shaim. Oid Hashem b'chol Aiva for the second annual Keshe Nafshi event. Shkoyach kommt nicht von mir, Shkoyach für alle von einem, die du, und ihr kommen sich mestatten sein, als eine größere Simche. Shkoyach, a round of applause to alle von einem. Es auch geben als Shkoyach von Rebetzin, von mich losen sein und weil mit 24/7 die letzten 7 Kedushin. Shkoyach von meinen Menschen, was haben sich geholfen, von beiden Seiten, der Werbeschiel und der Menschschiel, kann ich ausriefen alle nehmen, for the fear of forgetting some names, but Unschleimi Litzman and Gingy and Heinrich, what ich nicht kennt, Team der Arbeit. It's not loud. Okay. Better now? Okay. Unlike regular events, Mata MC and Cinemat of Al Bashu, in order to save some time, we are doing things twisted. There won't be a speech, I'm not talking. I will allow all the Rabbunim to basically help us out over here and give us a summary with takeaways of the Shabbos, of Chizik, that everybody's going to take home something of Chizik of the Shabbos. And we'd like to start out with Rabbi Sheis Taub Shlita.
Okay. Good Vach. Okay. I'm keeping to the 2 minute. This is the 2 minute speed round. Louder? It's a microphone. They can turn up the volume. Everyone can hear me? Beautiful. What? Wait a second. Does this cut into my 2 minutes?
There's no speakers by the ladies. So we hear
Oh,
you fine.
there's no speakers by the ladies?
You gotta
Okay, so hold on.
You gotta put it right in front.
Can you hear me in the back where the ladies are sitting?
We hear them. Maybe they should talk. They don't need microphones.
How do you know what I asked you? I'm going to leave everybody with one nakuda. Because it's a question that It's going to, okay. Obviously, put the mic in front of me and project. Get ready. All right. It's very loud. So the question that's often asked about the difference between TP and enabling. So I just felt I should address that question. It's a legitimate question and it's an important question. What's the difference between healing your child with love and the opposite, destroying them, God forbid, with the wrong kind of love? So I'll tell you a story. There was a Yid, a soldier who was stationed in the Sinai desert, and it was Purim. He didn't even know it was Purim. He was so removed from Yiddishkeit. And a group of Lubavitcher Chassidim jump off of a jeep, and they run around with little packages and hand them out to the soldiers, and he looks at it, and on the packages it says, Purim Sameach, a happy Purim. It's a matana, a present, or Mishaloch Manot, whatever what it says, Admor Lubavitch, from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. So he says, I don't know who this Lubavitcher Rebbe is, but he sent me a present. It's very nice. Somebody sent me a present. He kept this in mind for many years. Eventually he left Eretz Yisrael, like it happens to many Israelis. They become more frum when they leave Eretz Yisrael. So he ended up in Chicago. The shliach there a friend of mine, Daniel Moskowitz, Olav Shalom, brought him to the Rebbe. He meets the Rebbe, and the Rebbe asks him a question. The Rebbe asks, in Yiddishkeit, we always put the emphasis on the right side. You do a mitzvah, you do it with the right hand. Everything you start with the right side. Even getting dressed, you start with the right side. How come when the Eibishter made a human being, seemingly, he made a mistake? Because he took an Eva like the heart, which is vital, the whole neshama depends upon it. He could have put it in the center like the brain. Or if he had to put it off the one side, he could have put it on the right, which is the ikar, the main side is the right. Why did the Eibishter go and take the heart and put it on the left? This is what the Rebbe asks this Jew. He didn't have an answer, so the Rebbe told him like this. The whole purpose of a heart, the function of a heart, for which the Eibishter gave you the heart, is to love an other. It's not for you, it's not for yourself. Your heart is for an other. So when you face another Yid in Avos Yisrael, your heart is on the right side. His right side, exactly where it belongs. We were made, we were built, we were designed to give. We are healthy when we give. We never get sick from giving. We get sick from taking. In Eretz Yisrael, you have a Kinneret and you have a Yam HaMelech. It's the same exact water. The Kinneret is alive and flourishing and thriving, and everything around it is alive and everything in it is alive. The Yam HaMelech is the Dead Sea. Everything in it is dead. It's the same drops of water. They melt. The snow melts in the mountains in the north, trickles down, makes rivulets. It goes into the Kinneret. It swirls around, it goes downhill. Water goes downhill. That's the Yarden, the Jordan River, is the water running downhill till it gets to the Dead Sea. The lowest elevation in the whole world is the Dead Sea, and when the water gets there, it stops. It has nowhere else to go. The water in the Kinneret is alive and enlivens. The water in the Dead Sea is dead and it kills. The same drops of water. What's the difference? The Kinneret, every drop of water it gets, it gives away. We were made to give. We are most alive when we give. The Dead Sea, every drop, it can only take. It never gives away. So this is the difference. When I'm a people pleaser, when I give to you because I can't say no, because I'm desperate for your approval, because I'm afraid that you won't like me, that's not giving, that's taking. Codependency, enabling, that's the ultimate form of taking. It's a sneaky form of taking. I'm not giving love, I'm actually taking approval and validation. And to take approval and validation from your own child is the sickest thing. Or even worse, they're causing me so much trouble, they're annoying me, so I'm buying them off, I'm just trying to get rid of them. That's not giving, that's taking. When does the whole Titus TP work, in my humble opinion? And why does it work? Because it forces us to give in the way that the Eibishter designed giving. To give absolutely unconditionally, as real givers, expecting nothing in return. To give for free. Gratuitous kindness, chesed chinam. And when we give that kind of way, we are healthy, and it also works out that our recipients are healthy. You will never go wrong from giving selflessly. Umichlal hein shemei alav, although I'll spell it out. There are a lot of ways to go wrong if you give selfishly. But you can never go wrong giving selflessly. Continue giving selflessly.
Yashikoyach. I'd like to also take the time to thank Yankee Goldman for putting down over 120 hours and doing all the graphics for us, and for Benny Raskin for setting up our website, for Mendy Eder doing all the rides for the Rabbunim to making sure everybody comes here on time and being our liaison. And for Chushva Askin, Mandy Klein, that jumped all the way in to help us set up the Asifas Rabbunim for tomorrow. Thank you. What? Also, somebody doesn't like his name to be named or spoken about. The Baruch Hashem put another Askin onto our team that helped us tremendously with guidance and chizik and everything else. Reb Cheskel Kofteil. And also Reb Hershel Rosenberg from Monsey. And now we'll have the kavod to call up Harav Reb Sholem Noach Landau.
Agitvach, B'shis Chushav Rabbunim, all assembled here. Berach 50 years ago, there was a European Yid that worked very hard in the knitting companies, by the machines. Most nights of the week he was not home to put his children to sleep. Most mornings he was not home to wake up his children. That was the mama's job. So one day he comes home early from work and he walks in and his wife is talking the kinderlich into bed at night and leint Krishma as if a Yiddish mama. He hears the following: Hamalach Hagoyel Oisi Mikol Ru He Yevurach. So he goes in, he says, Tzipi, Baila, whatever her name is, says, what did you just now say? He says, I lined Krishma, I'm saying Hamalach. He says, would you repeat that? Hamalach Hagoy Loisi Mikol Ru Yevurach. And she stops. She says, that's not where you put the commas. And they start arguing back and forth. This is how my mother lined Krishma with me. Was the bills. And words started flying back and forth. Your mother, the Shviga, she was a Lankan Amur, it's 14th generation Amuratzim. She can't even say a Pusik, a line Krishma. And it turned into a serious argument. And they went to the previous Kalender Rebbe, Zeichet Tzaddik Levrucha, for the Torah. Let's go back in 1965, 1966. There's a Kimen Aran, and that Tzaddik looks at these two people. Could be they were Landslat from Romania, and he says, "What's guy do for?" And the husband starts telling the Rebbe, "You know what my wife just did to the kid? She cursed them, Ru Yevurach." And he turns around to the wife and afraid, "Vus." So she says, "Rebbe, this is how I line Krishma every night. Hamalach Hagoy Loisi Mekol, Ru Yevurach, Esan Urim." And the Rebbe stops saying, "Why do you line Krishma like this?" So she says, "This is how my mother lined Krishma with us. I remember as a child in Rusland, wherever we were, that's how the mama lined Krishma." Sklener Rebbe thinks for a minute, turns around to the husband and he says, "Let her continue. Let her continue lining Krishma." So the Yid asks, "Rebbe, I'm asking, but would you explain?" So he says, "I'll explain." He says, every Friday night when a Yid comes to heim from Besmedrish, we know there are two Maluchim that begleit a Yid. One Malach is a Malach Toiv, and one Malach is a Malach Ra. If there is harmony, there is Shulam Bayis, Vuz Geshein, the Malach Toiv says, Yehirutzen, Shetia Kain L'Shabbos Sabu, Bal Korchoi, the Malach Ru has to answer Umayim. What happens if they come home and there are arguments in the shtib? Then the Malach Ru has to say Yerutzin Shatia Kain L'Shabbos Sabu, and the Malach Toiv has to answer Umayim. Asks Kalender Rebbe, lass mich dich fragen, which Malach's Bruche, which Malach answering Umayim is a stärkere Sach? Avada when the Malach Ru has to say Yerutzin Shatia Kain L'Shabbos Sabu. Rabbi say the Malach tells Yankov Avini ki Sarisu im Elokim v'anushim v'tichal. Next to Fratik Tzanach, when we are going home, we're going to sing Shulam Aleichem. Two Maluchim are walking into our homes. And you know what's going to happen? The Malach that was here last night, Basida, when we were singing Shulam Aleichem, the Malach Ru had to say Yehirutzen Shetir Kain L'Shabbos Habu. And the Malach Toiv had the Schir and said, Umain, Azoi gait es emetz Hashem zan the way it was. You know why? Ki serisu im Elokim v'anushem. Everyone sitting here schluckt sich und rangelt sich im Elokim mit Maluchim midas adin v'anushem, the lowest level, Enosh. What's pulling down our kinderlich v'tichel, and you're all succeeding. What's the raya? That we're here this Shabbos. When I walk away, ich sitz du mit Anshe Gebäudem, Anshe Shem, a Shabbos like this. I'm humbled, I'm walking away with a Shabbos looking at Yidden, was me schluckt sich, Koiches HaTimme, gegen Koiches HaKdishe, and we are fighting back. Our Koiches HaKdishe, we're coming mit Shabbos, mit Ave v'Achve, we're coming with Kines LeTzadikim Nu Elahem. This is the koyach that we are coming with. And this is what I'm walking away. It's als wissen, Ashreichem. The Eibishte shept nachas v'nenk. It's a crusade, Samalchum El Hashem Ba'amulek, and Et Shlukzenk, but Vatichel, that's what you have to remember. That goes for Avi, that goes for the Askunim, that goes for Gedalia, that goes for everyone that lent a shoulder to the Shabbos. The Eibishter Zaling Benchen, that every Shabbos when we come on from the Smedrish, the Meluchim Kimen Aran, Hamalach HaGoyel Oisi Mikol, Ru Yevurach. Agite Vach.
Rav Yitzchak Lobenstein.
I'm not going to use this opportunity to give another short drasha. Rabbi Gedalia said I should 2 minutes. What I'm taking away from this Shabbos and what I think you can all take from this Shabbos. It's very straightforward. I think everybody here, we have one thing in common. We're all struggling in one way or another. Each one with our pekel. Everyone thinks their pekel is the worst pekel, and everybody's right. But after a Shabbos like this, no one is alone. You've met many, many people, I would say hundreds of other people, who are all in the same boat as you, who are with you, feeling it with you. Baruch Hashem, you've also met a whole team of selfless rabbonim, professionals, askonim, therapists, and the rest. My vocabulary is not that good. And what we all have in common is that we are all there in order to help, to be a listening ear. And Chazal say nobody knows whether the Oshir is supporting the Oni, or the Oni is supporting the Oshir. Yosem Masha Egel Rotza Linoik, Hapor Rotza Lahonik. Make connections with each other. Make connections with all the people who are there to help you. We're there to help you. We want to help you. You've got people here from all over the world, any time of day or night, 24/7. Kipshutei Mamash. Take the contacts, use them, that's what they're for.
Shkoyach, Reb Shloime Ehrlich.
I'm going to try to wrap up such amazing messages that we took out from the Shabbos. I was thinking, what could I say in 2 minutes? I think as I learned a lesson from all of you in Ahavas Yisrael. There was a Yid that came to the Balatanya. He was working, he was an Ovid, he was working on himself to grow. And he asked him, which one is more important, Ahavas Hashem or Ahavas Yisrael? Which one do I work first? He answered him, he said, they're both one thing. Loving Hashem and loving Klal Yisrael is ein Zach. Uhafti eschem umar Hashem. Hashem said, I love you, Klal Yisrael, I care for you. And I think that loving, ahave, Lishna Kodesh, we all know is Lusha van hav, giving. And when you give to someone, you start loving them. And when you feel loved, and you feel that someone, you feel cared for, there's a love, the feeling of love develops in you. If someone cares for you, you love them. And if you care for someone, so ahav is both ways. And we know that ahav is 13, Aleph Hai, Vais Hai, is 13. Together is 26. When zwei Yidden haben sich lieb is the Shem Havaya. Yeshulam Banayim, Shechina Shrir Banayim. But we all know it's a shayna avoida to be loving Klal Yisrael. People are very proud, Ich ben Ayid, Klal Yisrael, moidedik. But sometimes it's very hard to love the neighbor that's sitting right near you in Shield, that's shaking the table the whole time and knocking his foot. An ADD is sitting near you, knocking the table the whole time and still loving him. Or your neighbor that the garbage is going into your lawn. It's hard to love your next door neighbor sometimes, the ones that are driving you mad, the ones that are hurting you, the ones that are... Ahavas Yisrael is loving the person that's right near you. And sometimes it's our own children. Sometimes it's so hard. We instinctively love our kids. It's a real unconditional love. But when they start rebelling us and doing everything against us, it's an extra avoide to start loving them at Hecht Ahavas Yisrael. So Ahavas Yisrael starts at home. And I think that this is a lesson that I learned this Shabbos and last year of the Shabbos, and from all of you, that sometimes looking away from ourselves and putting our own interest in the side and loving someone that's betraying us. And that's a real lesson in Ahavas Yisrael. The second thing I want to say that I learned from the Shabbos is the power of one person. We have a Schindler in our midst, Reb Avi Fishoff, one person. Azak Gadlus. One person decides to do zich nemen teen and teen. And look what happens. He had no idea when he started that he's going to have so many people being helped. The Medrash says, and I'm going to conclude with this, the Medrash says, Bahad Nakoyen, he was making shulam between Bainish Le'ishtoi, between one Yid and another Yid. That was the Oiv Shulam, the Oiv Shulam. And by his Levaya, the Medrash says there was 80,000 Arons that were begleiting his Uren. He said every time there was Shulam between one Yid and the other, a couple was saved their marriage by Har Nakoin, the next child they named Aharon. There were so many Aharons. In the future, years to come, Mashiach is coming very soon, there's going to be all the Moedige Yidden that saved so many others. They're going to be marching with hundreds of kids. Avi, Lahavdl is like a Schindler, we all know Schindler, a goy for Chasidim Emes Oilam, who was marching down with all these kids and all these people that he saved. And Samad Ayid, in our age, is so humble. If whoever walks in over here, like, "Wie's Avi, Agam Shabbos," like, you wouldn't even know he's the head. It's like sitting over no one and talking and taking. Ayid was so übergegeben, and I think that this is the second lesson and most amazing lesson that I took out from the Shabbos, is the power, how each and one of us could really do. Everybody could do something so major, so much more beyond ourselves. Tavach.
Shkoyach, Rav Yehuda Vaksha.
Anybody who starts the journey of following the guidance of Avi in helping their children, one of their initial concerns is, what about the other kids in the home? And Avi often quotes the Neviminsker Rebbe Shlita that says, Adarabba, the other children of the home have a lot to gain. They get the opportunity to see the real, true essence of the neshama of a Yiddish kind. Instead of seeing the child as a rebel, as a Rasha, as an Avarian, they see a Tayir neshama that's nebuch in pain. That's one of the gains for the other siblings of following this derech of Avi. I just want to be moisef that there's something else to gain as well, not just for the siblings, but for us as well. And that is something I take away from the Shabbos, that following this derech, we also see the essence of the neshama of a Yiddish mama and a Yiddish tata. How a parent is willing to give up everything that's important to them, all their money, all their time, all their koiches, all their values, for the ultimate value of bringing back and saving their tayir kind. And that's something that I think we could all take away so powerfully from the Shabbos. And also, like others mentioned, the avas chinam between people who are mamish strangers, when everyone is together, achim b'tzara, how everyone loves each other and gives to each other, even though they're perfect, complete strangers, and everyone feels mamish ki ish echad b'leiv echad. In Mitzvah Hashem, everyone together should be zoicha to the ultimate goal of seeing nachas, the kedusha from all their children. Mitzvah Hashem, under the guidance of Avi, ad bias goyel.
Koyach, Rav Chaim Admger.
Good Tavach. I want to thank all of you from the deepest part of my heart for giving me the schia to participate in such a dehoivene Shabbos. I walk around the Shabbos. I think everyone feels Ashras Ashchina, Ava, Achdus. I don't know if there was any period in Jewish history when Yiddish parents did so much ishtadlus, so much tefillah, so much mesiras nefesh to bring the lechtige children closer to Hashem. By Shalashudas, we discussed a little bit the concept that Chaz v'Sholom, we shouldn't look at the situation as if these children aren't doing the Ratzon Hashem, or we aren't doing the Ratzon Hashem with them. Adarabah, the way we act with these children is the biggest manifestation of Ratzon Hashem. This is what Hashem wants. We Yidden know that when we speak about Osid, when we speak about the future, we do all the shtadlis, tefillah, and any shtadlis we can do to change the situation. But when we speak about Ovar, and every second, a second later is Avar, we know that this, and only this, was the Ratzon Hashem. Just want to be moisef. We spoke that Chizkiyahu HaMelech wasn't zoiche to be Mashiach because he didn't sing Shira after the Nes of Sancherev. And the question begs of itself, why indeed didn't he sing Shira? And perhaps when Chizkiyahu HaMelech, it was the same day, the days of Pesach, when he saw what's going to happen, Menashe, Amoin, and all the tzaras, he wasn't of a matzif to sing Shira. So he didn't sing Shira. But to bring Mashiach, you need to see the matzif and sing Shira to Hashem. This is this Shabbos. This is the Tzaddik Rav Avi and all of the tzaddikim that take part here, that do the Ratzon Hashem with Mesiras Nefesh. A Ratzon Hashem that's incomprehensible. But Fleische Geoigen we don't understand. From whatever we were taught, we don't think this is the Ratzon Hashem. But if this is what Hashem did, this is indeed the Ratzon Hashem. And we do it with simcha. we do it with Ava, we do it with Shira, this is ultimately going to bring Mashiach. May we see Mashiach's day very, very soon. B'schis all the tzaddikim sitting here. A good Tavach.
Rav Pinchas Friedman.
Few words. Kadim kol hagit avach. Moira v'raboisai rabunim achashivim. My impression from this Shabbos, I finally understood something that I've wanted to understand a long time. We say Motzei Shabbos and the Zmiris, Umar Hashem le Yankov, Altiru Avdi Yankov, Buchar Hashem, we're repeating 22 times. Altiru Avdi Yankov. What has happened? Why does Yankov have to be scared? This week, after such an inspiring Shabbos, I finally understood that the Rebbeinu Shalom is talking to these heilige parents that go through such a tremendous test, Nisyonis, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells them, Al tiru avdi Yankov, don't worry, I'm with you. And I'll explain. We say Motzei Shabbos v'yita l'chu, the Magen Avraham brings the Riyah Kodesh, psukim from Baruch Hu. Why v'yita l'chu? What's the connection between v'yita l'chu and Motzei Shabbos? I'll keep to the 2 minutes. Plus 2, but I'm okay. What's v'yita l'chu? Why Motzei Shabbos? There's a heilige word from the Meropshitzer, a moiredike word. Yaakov Avinu said to Esav, Michru kayoim es b'choiros choli. Please sell me the b'choir kayoim. Kayoim azay. The Medrash says, the Medrash Rabbe, Zoven li chad yoimim in the doch. Please sell me one day. So the Heilige Rabbe, so which day did he want to buy? Shabbos Kodesh. They made a deal, to the Medrash. Oilem Habe is Yaakov Avinu. In Oilem Hazeh is Esav. So Yaakov Avinu, but one day I need Shabbos Kodesh. Was it on mit Schulm? Was it on mit Kigel? Oinig Shabbos? V'karusel Shabbos oinig? Michru kayoim, zoveli chad yoim. One day, sell me. This is the B'choyer Shabbos. Wie der Emes? So the Rav said, kayoim, in the Rosh Hashanah, kilom, yizbi, v'yis angi mituvecho. Kilom, verkauf mir einig Shabbos. Eisef was hungry for money. He sold him the B'choyer. He didn't have as kol berchuan the eile v'sata b'yoymesh v'yu Italian. Once you bought the Shabbos, you have already all the brachas. Zug the tata for Eisef, you lost it. Bo chicho b'mirmo v'yikach b'rchasecho. He took away. So how much the brachas nor b'schis Shabbos? That's why after Shabbos, Motzei Shabbos, when we keep the Shabbos, is we say v'yita lechu. Why didn't Yitzchak Avinu want to give the brachas for a Yaakov Avinu? Business is fagoyim. He darf man sitzen allein in Teure. Also ich the Tefer Shloime. But Rivka Imenu knew that Esau will not support Yaakov. So she told Yaakov to go in and take the brachas. Yaakov Avinu was frightened. Vayishman Yeshurim Vayivot. How did Yaakov get the brachas while he had on the big day Esav? To show that even Chas v'Chalila, when our children will have big day Esav, the Chitzonius will be with big day Esav, we should know that within there is a Yaakov Avinu hidden. And that's why Motzei Shabbos we're saying, the Rebbeinu Shalom says, according to the Aleph Beis, if you keep to the Torah, Al tiru avdi Yaakov. That's Av's job, the Mesiras Nefesh, Kesher Nafshi, to reveal the Yaakov that's hidden within Esav. Agitavach.